welcome to the first ever Mridangamela podcast with video. And now you can see our face. I'm Anantha, I play the Mridangam. I have my friend here, Viveick, who plays the Mridangam. And our show is technically called Friends with Benefits because we all benefit from playing Mridangam. And we have a special guest, one of the most prolific and well-known, he's basically broken the internet with Mridangam and konakkol. And we're very happy to have a dear friend, B C Manjunath, joining us for a kind of a chat and some fun discussions from Bangalore. So let's bring him on. Hello, sir.
Been alone with you inside my mind, and in my dreams I've kissed your lips 1,000 times.
I have a history with this song.
Oh.
All right. So that's what we want to know from you.
This song was running on constant loop when I was in college. And this was
Exactly.
the only English song I could sing from beginning till end.
Can you grace us with a small,
No, come on.
No?
No
too
way.
many memories?
No, not that kind of.
So who are you singing this
So
song
sweet.
to?
I know.
I was standing in front of mirror and then just singing it for myself.
Amazing. So we also know that you had apparently long hair
Mhm.
and you would also trip on Michael Jackson a lot. Right?
Jay, man.
Yeah. So these are
Gonna
the
be
two.
starting something.
Yeah, so-
that's the first song I heard of. That was the first thing I heard from Western pop music. You know, I had never heard anything before that. So when I was in 10th grade, I went to Rameshwaram with my school friends, and then I was like all this religious trip and all, and then I said like, come
What
on,
better
guys, you
place
guys-
to get started with Michael Jackson?
I mean, like
Yes.
when they played that song in the shop, I was like, "What is this?" You know, I don't even know. I couldn't even define what was that. You know, so
What kind of shop was it?
it was like one of those regular cassette shops where you
Oh,
get
okay.
cassette, where you get
Yeah,
all
yeah,
those
okay.
things in the religious places. You know,
Amazing.
So I still remember that place, and then I still remember the cover. It's a black Thriller cover. You know, so yeah.
Amazing, amazing.
Yeah, so these are the two.
How are you
sort of-
guys?
Very good, very good.
We're very excited. We've kind of thought about, fun ways to keep each other engaged, and then this decided to be, a kind of initiative to just have some fun. And we couldn't think of anybody better first to kind of kick it off besides you. So we're very excited, and thank you for coming. Kind of very,
Oh, thank you for thinking of me. It means a lot.
of course.
You know, so.
Yeah, so that was one thing that we wanted to ask you, and then second thing was before every Carnatic concert, you would listen to film songs. Is it true?
Of course, I love that. To get the
Yes.
groove in my body.
Ah,
The groove
So what
going
is
in the
that?
body.
what was
You
that?
have to say more than that.
Yeah, you'll have to say more than that. What kind of stuff? Why would you, because to be honest, for people who are going to watch this or watch, it's interesting that all of us have different facets to our personality. One is what one obviously everybody knows the mind that you are. Whether it's using Fibonacci and all that. That's a known thing. But I think there are some other facets which also make you, and it'll be nice. We just thought it'll be nice to sort of explore those, that sort of, because, traditionally, anybody going for a Carnatic concert would imagine, oh, he's learning up the Pallavi, or he's learning up what the main song is going to be, or he may be thinking about the Tani. Okay, he might be also thinking about the coffee that he's going to have. But one wouldn't imagine that you're going to listen to film songs before you go to a kacheri. So what's that like? Like what kind of film songs were you listening to? And
Something that has like kind of like a hip hop feel to it. So that gives my adrenaline a little bit of a push, you know. So it depends on what kind of concert I'm going to, you know. I won't do that for every concert. But still, if I'm driving my car towards the venue, I would not, you know, listening to Carnatic music or thinking of it just before going on stage makes me anxious. I would practice from morning, I would just prepare my instrument maybe for 2-3 hours, or, you know, maybe look at 3-4 instruments like any other mridangist. But unwinding is very important just before, because to keep my mood much lighter, I don't want to be looking tensed and grim before I go. So something that I forget, and the moment I step on the stage, my co-artists, they make me feel, okay, you're in the zone now. Okay, come on, start it. You know.
Fair enough.
Just
do you ever make
that,
them listen to it?
Are you
Your
kidding?
co-artist?
No way.
No.
I really love driving alone to the concert.
Oh.
You know, it's okay to come back with somebody, but when you're going alone, you know, you don't want to know your cheeky side. But yes, my father. Mostly, I drove with my father to all the concerts. So.
Oh, so sweet. He'd listen to it too.
Yes, of course. I mean,
oh, so sweet.
Yeah, I mean, like he liked me so much, so he was kind of like obliged. He was obliged to do stuff that I have made him go through a lot of.
Oh.
I mean, I don't know what to say, but he's a sweetheart. I know. I mean, like,
So I heard somewhere that you went to the great Murthy sir to learn konakkol. In addition, obviously, to playing the Mridangam and going further than that. So one thing I wanted to ask you is, because you are an exponent of especially both of them, what do you think is kind of like the superset of phrasings maybe konakkol is going towards? Because obviously there is a lot of dialectic conveniences or dialectic traits. I know, like my grandfather used to say, like nami dimi dimi nami nana dimi. That's a very different thing. Some people say naka dimi dimi, tadina dina takita, and tarikita kitataka. All of these things, I think, very specialized to Mridangam. Unlike maybe say like tabla or tawil, where it's like across all gharanas and stuff, or all localities. It's a very, very kind of standardized set of phrases. What do you think is going to eventually be the evolution of where konakkol either continuously changes, and maybe we start saying like, you know, accommodations from like flamenco and like African rhythms, or you think it's going to grow, or you think we're going to find a superset which everybody can, you know, adhere to? Well, maybe.
I have seen few stages because I only speak out of my experience. I never talk about like somebody told me, you know, that kind of. I say those things less, but according to what I have seen, because konakkol was an integral part of my house, because my father was one of the biggest exponents, and then my father was also a student of Raghu sir. You know? What I have heard from my father ever since I was a small child was one of the best konakkol recitals. You know, like whenever he told it, just was mind blowing. But there was a moment where. I would say like mid-90s till, let us say, 2010, konakkol became really cheesy, you know, like everyone and anyone was using it for like, I mean like konakkol is a serious art form for me, you know, and then people were just, anyone and everyone is like, they're saying, takachi,
oh, right.
you know, even Indians saying, like a Western accent. I was like,
cheesy is a great word. Yeah,
it is. I mean, like I can say it 10 times, you know. So, and then I thought like maybe, okay, there should be a moment where we have to start redefining konakkol.
Fantastic.
So then, for example, what you said, nadimi dimi nadimi nadimi dimi nadimi.
Yeah.
Those are like, it's very nice because you're actually saying the way tabla is played. You know, you hear a pattern and it's anywhere in the world they hear that pattern and they play the same fingering with tabla. But it's totally different with Mridangam, right? What you say and what you play is totally different. Because tarikita is different. In my school, K. N. Krishnamurti sir, my first guru, for him tarikita was kitataka.
Exactly.
And kitatari was takita di, you know. And then
Vivek knows a whole nother different one. Tell him like some of yours. It's like a totally.
No, like we are
telling the other.
Tiku Takatarikita.
Oh my God, that I cannot say that. You know, it's so difficult to say that. See, I can't even say it twice. You know, yeah, it's so unnatural for me because I never heard that until you started saying it. You know, like when we met for the first time, I was like, Vivek, I cannot do Dikuta Katarikita. You know, it's very difficult. So as the things went on, I thought like num and dim, these things cannot be starting because I wanted something that was very attacky, you know, ta, dim, tum, dum. These were the things that defined a lot, you know, when you had to say like
the syllables. Do you think we're gonna get a bigger set of alphabets which accommodates all of the different schools of konakkol, or you think it's gonna go? Which yeti you think konakkol is gonna go? This way or this way?
For sure, Shrotovaha. 100%.
Okay.
I mean, I started listening to drums mostly for the bass and the high, the treble sound, and then started reproducing that. Doesn't matter if it was not in the boundary of konakkol syllables, you know. So that's how I started listening more closely to reproduce it, you know. Then a lot of syllables just came out by itself, like a lot of new syllables. Like for example, in all these things are like sacrilegious in Carnatic music, but I love it.
So Manju, I'm going to play you one more track. This is again for just to sort of have some fun in the middle. Okay. Again, I'm sure you'll know there'll be a story attached to it. So, okay, it's coming up right now.
Oh my God. Who did you call? Who did you call? Come on.
Come on, sing along.
Oh no.
No, come on. It's not possible. Like how do you know this? This like only my family members and my wife know about it. No one else. How do you know? Whom did you call?
That's fine. That's immaterial. Tell us the story, or I'll have to tell the story.
Okay, you go ahead. Let me hear what you heard.
So what I know is that for every Ganesh Chaturthi which just went by, there is a mandap outside here somewhere close to your house. You would, whenever the song played, you would grab the microphone and sing that song in that mandap. Right?
That's so sweet.
Oh my God! Really, like this is one of, again, this is one song that I can sing from beginning till end, you know, but never ever in tune. I'm such a bad singer. I have really like been asking Almighty to make me a singer in next life, you know, like I want to be a singer. Somehow this is the thing. Well, there are a few stories attached to this, you know. One first time I heard this was again in Ganesh Pendal, you know, and then yes, you're right, I was singing, and then people, I don't know, I would just drive them away for in just two lines. But still, I was so passionate. I was doing it, and then I had so much confidence when I went to college. I even had the guts to go and participate in singing competition, like movie songs. And then when I started, they did not even let me complete 2 lines. They booed me away.
Oh my God.
I mean, like, okay, now I know. I shouldn't be singing this everywhere. The only place I'm going to sing now is in my bathroom. Nowhere else, you know. So, yeah. Oh my God. Rajkumar, Dr. Rajkumar is my hero.
But that's amazing. I mean, the fact that they didn't allow you to sing it, did this happen before or after that you would go to the mandap and take the microphone and sing?
No, I was doing it before.
Before?
Every year I was doing that. So when I was in grade 12, I made the big step in my life, quitting singing on stage. Oh my God, I can't believe you guys know about this secret. Oh. Well, this song has a, I don't know, it always makes me very emotional. I don't know. Sometimes even I cry when I sing myself,
Wow.
because I don't know. Maybe it's not for everyone, but Dr. Rajkumar is one of the greatest film actors from Kannada film industry. So
Right.
Right, of course.
yeah, he's my evergreen hero. Any day I watch one scene of his, I start crying. And then
Oh.
his songs are like that. I don't know. Movies are something that has been a very big part of my life.
Apart from this, I mean, coming back to your musical journey, my first introduction uh, to uh, to what you do was when I saw you with Akram Khan. You know, it was not anything else. But and I was, I mean, you know it. I was super impressed with not only how you incorporated the Spanish syllables. Like if I'm not wrong, you were actually counting un, dos, tres, cinco, set, right? You were counting and you were also performing. And I must say there was another very cool thing you were doing, which was um, performing. Like literally, you would be a part of the act and not just be on the left of stage or right of stage and playing. You know, saying, "Oh, this is a Pakavadyam section on one corner, so they will not get up and do anything," right? So the fact that whether Akram Khan designed this or you sort of involved yourself, how was the process for you, and what did it do to you in terms of opening your mind towards all these things?
Well, we have to go a little bit um, uh, like more years behind.
Sure.
So, in 2004, I was working with this Italian composer. I was playing a lot of contemporary classical music, like playing like super complicated stuff, like playing like 21 against 40, 16, or, things like that, suddenly like change it to all these kind of things. Then suddenly like Ricardo, he told me like, hey man, there is this dancer, Akram Khan, I would like to introduce you to him, I said, I had, to be honest with you, I was playing for dance until 2000, and then I said like it was very difficult for me to manage the rehearsal time and then all these things. So I said, dance, Ricardo, I don't think I have enough patience in me. He said, no, you should really check him out. And then I went to one of his shows, and then I was really mind blown by his Kathak. It was a Kathak show actually.
Right.
And then and Akram was insisting that he wants to have a tabla, not Mridangam, for that project. It was called as Ma. The project was Ma. It was with 7 dancers and 3 musicians. So first it was supposed to be a vocalist, cellist, and a tabla player. And then when I went there, he said like, I'm not sure, Manju, this sound will go with the whole contemporary dance feel. Then I started, he gave me like about 2-3 weeks of time to explore some stuff. So that is the moment when I started exploring a lot of polyrhythms, for the contemporary dance. And then when he heard that, he said, I don't want tabla, I will have Mridangam for this whole project, which toured for 2.5 years, and we did 175 shows in almost 35 countries, and that was the moment, like one day, he was really happy with what I was doing. And then there was moments when I was playing with the cello artist, she was being my lehra, most of the times when I was playing. And then she was right, I was right, but we were not locking in together. And then Akram was warming up that day. And then he came to us and he said like, Manju, it's not about her being right and you being right. It's okay if you both are wrong, but be together when you make a mistake. So it
Awesome.
Sounds right, So nobody knows what you have planned. Audience never know. If you make a mistake, make it together. Be together even when you make a mistake. And then when you play even one note, make sure it has a meaning to it, so it reaches everyone in the auditorium. That really struck me a lot. And then he said, okay, you have to be more open when you perform, you have to be. So that was one stage that happened. And then I played 2-3 more projects. Then came this project. I was already working with another contemporary dancer from Belgium, Sidi Larbi Sharkawi, another amazing artist. And then Akram asked me like, hey, would you like to come and play for this project where it is Kathak and flamenco, together?
Mm-hmm.
Like, oh wow, but you know what? I'm working with Sidi Larbi. I'm already booked for 2 years. I don't know if I can do it. Oh, what a shame! I couldn't do that. Then Talis, Bernard Schiefsberger. Yeah, he was the one who went and deciphered all the music from flamenco. Kathak. Okay. He started that, and then I don't know what happened. He was like, he wanted to do something of his own, so he said, I really want to take a break. Then Akram again came back to me. I said, look, I already told you I'm not free. Then he said, no, I have already talked to City. So only 4 shows you'll not be able to perform. So I will ask Bernard to play those shows, Then that's how I jumped into this project. I went to Barcelona, and then I started, and I couldn't understand a thing from flamenco, like, for example, if there were 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. If I was always doing 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, we are so much to this, this pulse. When I started clapping like this, Israel Galvan, he got thrown away. Like, you cannot do quarter notes like that all the time. There is a melody to the rhythmic cycle. That's the first time I ever heard that there was melody to rhythmic cycle,
Fantastic. That's awesome.
I was like, okay, yes. So you should feel the rhythmic cycle. Then only you can get into that. It's a running machine already. Like Bobote was one of the greatest. He's one of the greatest Palmero, So these guys, they taught me, and then slowly I started putting that on my Mridangam, So I kind of like let go all my classical music training to get that feel. Yeah. To get that feel on the Mridangam, because Mridangam was the biggest part. There was one crazy solo by Israel Galvan where it was like I had to play like there was no meter to it, I had to catch those moments. Even a nanosecond late, he was like, no, it's wrong. Then he would start from the beginning again. That solo was like 10 minutes. If we were at the end of the 9 minutes, he said, no, that's wrong. We'll go back to 1. So, and he was a monster. He could dance for 8 hours.
Can you say a little bit more for us, if you don't mind? You remember it?
Yeah, I mean like, Rataping, Chikio, there was, if I did, just 1 second or 1 nanosecond before, it's like, no, a little bit later, because everything in flamenco is laid back.
It's behind the
everything beat. Yeah, everything in Carnatic music is on the beat, or you're rushing.
Okay.
So for me to get adjusted to that kind of, because Kathak is also in the front of the beat, So this one is behind the beat. So I had to constantly kind of like adjust between Akram and Israel. And there was a moment where I had to compose one section where it had both Kathak and flamenco feel, which was in what they call as not Bulgaria, something else. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This was the rhythmic cycle. So something they would always say it's a 5, 5, 5. I said no, it's not 5. It is 6. It's 6. No, 5, 5. So it was hard for me. I did not try to explain them. It was everything. Everything was feel. In Hindustani music, they call it as mahol. So that was the one. Even one clap would set the atmosphere in the room. Like it gets you engrossed in what they're doing. That was the magic I saw in that production.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Cool.
Anantha,
yeah, you want to take over to the next one?
Well, I think no. I think what he said is something that I really I'm going to take really seriously, in the sense that the melody of the time cycle is something that is a very beautiful concept, and I think it's nice if we pay more attention to even just the way the talam sounds
Yes.
with the way we play, or anything else for that matter.
Yeah.
Even if it's not the constant quarter note or something else.
Yeah.
I know.
So that's very cool.
First, we have to go to a project thinking in our mind like, only when I'm asked, I will give something to them. Otherwise, my role here is to go and learn. If that is what is running in my mind before jumping into a project, then I think it's very easy to adapt to anything in life.
So beautiful. Very nicely said.
You have to learn something before giving anything,
Super.
So one thing I wanted to kind of again ask you is, a lot of your compositions or ideas that you've done now have Western notation representation of all of them. And so I wanted to know, now that you visually see some of these compositions, has that done anything to the thought process of the way you construct a codeway or construct like a module or anything? Where it's kind of like a feedback of saying like, yeah, I've seen what like taka looks like visually, or just the idea that when we're going and all those tied notes are a very different kind of feeling on notation versus the way we would like, a Carnatic musician. So has there ever been like a reversal of the stimulus to say, okay, when I write for like a composition, that notational kind of footprint has done something?
Yeah, about this Western notation. Yeah, I mean, like, of course, when way back in 2000, 2001, when I was performing with this contemporary classical music, that was the first time I started learning the 16th notes, the 8th note, and then all this. You cannot write, let us say, 21 against 4 in Carnatic music system. So all these things, when I saw on the paper the way it's written on Western notation, it already made a lot of sense to me. Like the combination of Indian notation and Western notation. So there was a moment where I was writing my Indian notation in Western notation format. So it was like a combination of both. So I used to have the Western notation and then underneath Indian notation. Then when I look at those the time signatures or those musical notes, I was like, okay, this is something. So the accents, the accents were different. They were, because in Western classical music, they're very much attached to quarter note. Everything is they're like stressing on the quarter notes. Then I was like thinking, what's the point in doing it? You can as well do it 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 4, just doing different syllables. Then what happened? Then I started looking at these little arrows of accents. When they do ta di gi na to, on the ta they were making this arrow as accents. So looking at those things, then as you said, then it started speaking to me. For example, when I did the there was one composition that I did was in 75-16, where literally I was thinking of this Western notation system, because first time I heard that composition was by Purushottam. He did that rhythmic cycle of 5 second note, 5 quarter, 5/8, 5/16. I'm sure you have already seen it. So when I saw that, then the only thing that came to my mind was this rhythmic cycle of going over with Carnatic system, but the rhythmic cycle was very much Western notation. So yes, it really helps me a lot when I compose things. Especially the
That
accent.
also has the thing you spoke about earlier, which has like a melody to the time cycle, because you hear the reduction, which was also kind of fun.
Yes, I mean, yeah.
Sometimes your voice is coming a little garbled. Yeah.
Oh, is it bad? Can you hear me?
Yeah, it's fine. Better. Yeah.
Very well. Okay. Yeah. That one also has like, that speaks to me. The rhythmic cycle, actually, it speaks to me melodically. There is the the most important thing for me is when the rhythmic cycle speaks melodically and the melody speaks rhythm. You know, this is the moment I think it's the win-win situation for music. Rhythm and melody are never separate. And one such amazing musician that I've been following right now with music, with melody and rhythm is Tigran Hamasyan. This guy has no boundaries between rhythm and melody. Somehow it culminates, like it joins here, never here. So yeah, when I look at time signature, it speaks to me a lot.
Cool. So if there's one dosa that best describes you, what would it be? And I gave you some choices. You're obviously welcome to make your own. One was paneer, one was rava, one was masala,
paneer
one was
dosa.
Mysore benne, or one was gluten-free paleo diet dosa made and paid by Bitcoin. Which one would best?
Set dosa.
Oh, and why?
Because
you should explain what you'll have to explain what set dosa is for people who don't know.
Set dosa is like this. It's not as big as masala dosa. It's a small size dosa. Then it's very soft and fluffy. So
I can already see your mouth watering, Manju. I just saw it.
Oh my god, that's the only dosa I go and eat. Masala dosa
really?
I eat maybe once in 6 months, but if there is a choice for dosa, that's the only dosa I eat.
Why do you choose set dosa as your sort of reflection?
Well, I think set dosa is one of the most difficult things to make, but yet it looks simple. That is one thing that signifies that to look simple, you need to do a lot of work.
Right, that's you, I think.
It's very. It takes a lot of work because that has a different batter compared to other dosas. This one has a totally different. Like you will see whenever you go to a restaurant, there are two vessels of batter, and one is for set dosa. And then it takes a lot of effort to make that batter.
Amazing.
But it's simple. That's what I like about it.
Amazing.
Yeah, it's fluffy. It comes in set of 3. That means it's a korve or muktaya, whatever you say.
Right.
3 times. All those things. So yeah, there are a lot of similarities.
Amazing. So where do you think, like moving ahead, like in terms of Mridangam, where do you see yourself going with this Mridangam art? And what are the things that you think you would want to do with it, or you would love to do with Mridangam, which let's say it's a free space of, there are no boundaries of what you want to say, right? There's no boundaries of budget, there's no boundary of space. What is it that you would just freely think about saying, this is what I would like to do?
Well, I would like to bring this concept of exploring sounds on Mridangam more than exploring the intricacies of complex rhythms. For that, somehow these days I'm very intrigued in listening to a lot of free solos on drums, which never happens on Mridangam.
Right.
It's like what we are doing now. This speaking. It's just taking us in whichever direction our mind is feeling. So I want to escape from the idea of one particular rhythmic cycle and then just be in that, just start with something, you feel like, and then go into something else. And then suddenly you feel like you want to play a tishra pattern. Then you want to jump into some other, this kind of like free solo thing where mostly you're exploring the patterns and sounds of Mridangam. That's where I really want to go, nothing binding me, because Carnatic music, it allows you to go deeper, but I want to explore the horizon of my friends who play in Europe, or they call it as extended techniques to the instrument. That is one thing that I would really like to explore, because this is one thing that we are not exploring, the extended techniques in instrument, I have seen one performance where Anantha was playing. of course, I've seen many performances. First one was when I saw him very young in Bangalore when he was playing in Vadakatturmat with Raghu sir, you know. That was one of the greatest concerts I've seen. But one concert when you were playing with Shobanaji, where I don't think you were, it didn't sound like the normal Mridangam that you were playing, you know. It was something else, you know. But whatever I observed in your playing fingering technique, it was all the same. But the sounding was so different. That is because I remember you never took your hands off to play tum. You were only playing with the gum. The whole concert, because I was very fortunate to sit on a side where I could see only your topi. You know, that's the thing.
Why do you think he's wearing a topi today? He's missing his gumki. Sorry, I had to
do it too much.
I had to do it. Sorry.
Okay. Back.
And then, of course, when you loop it, Vivek, you know, you're not actually thinking Mridangam as Mridangam, you know. It becomes like a completely different instrument. So that is what I think I would like to explore.
So we would like to maybe end on a question. And before that, obviously, or after that also, whatever you think you'd like to also say, which you haven't, please go ahead. But I have a question for you, which I think is going to happen one day. And I feel like the communication mechanism between humans and extraterrestrials is definitely going to end up being konakkol. And if we were going to send you in the welcome wagon to either, you know, Mars or wherever, to say, hey, we've made contact with an extraterrestrial, what is the konakkol that you would say? See, we really thought of some questions for you.
Wow. I think it's already a coded language. You know, I'm already, you don't know that I'm already communicating with them, you know. But, for example,
what would you say?
I would say, Dinaka.
Lovely.
That's great.
Yeah.
So that's a fantastic place to hear your thought process and how you envision communication through your music and through the konakkol. And so, you know, on behalf of Mridangamela and Anantha and Viveick, or, you know, just as friends, you know, with the benefit of this beautiful Mridangam that combines all of us, we could not be happier to have you go do everything that you said you wanted to do, because as fans of the Mridangam, it's really a pleasure to hear how you're going about things and, you know, how you're changing stuff for the better.
Yeah.
Well, change is constant. As you, constant is change, change is constant. So that's the only thing that will never change, you know. Keep on changing. Yeah, that's the thing. No, I mean, like, I am always like, whenever I get on the flight or whenever I get on a stage, I always remember that this instrument, this wonderful instrument, is one thing that has taken me everywhere. It's not me taking it, but it's taking me everywhere. So
all of us, for sure, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like, but in a way, I would also like to take it to places where people would be like, it will be like the discovery of their lives, you know. Okay,
yeah.
This is something I was looking for in my life, you know. This is the connection that I wanted to make with the music. So that kind of like, I'm still looking for moments like that where people are like, oh my God, this is an instrument that cannot be like not heard of, you know, like this should be there in our everyday life. If that becomes the day in future, I think all our jobs are, it's not something possible by one person. It's generations and generations of doing it. Hey, I mean, like, it's been an honor for me. Like, for me, you guys are one of the the future of. Not
Oh,
future,
stop
yeah,
it! Oh, stop it! Oh, stop!
it. No, it means a lot to me. I mean, like, yeah,
No,
I
no.
can. Yeah, thank you very much. Huh? Thank you.
No, man, amazing.
So,
Lovely. Yes.
do we have one more song to send this off into the record books, or?
No, he has to now either sing one song for us. Yeah. Or maybe
Or give us, what are you working on? What is your latest composition? If you want to give us a little. So it's always nice to kind of end with some some music.
Right now, I'm working on this pattern that my father taught me a few years ago.
Okay.
So that fits in both in Chaturashra, Khanda, and Tishra. No?
Okay.
So just thinking of that. Takita, takit. Takita, takita, dim, dinakatina, dim, takita, takita, dim, dinakatina, dim, takita, takita, dim, dinakatina, dim, kadadakadadikadadikadadikadadum, 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 dim, kadadakadadikadadikadadikadadum, 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 dim, kadadakadadikadadikadadikadadum, 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 takita, takita, dim, dinakatina, dim, takita, takita, dim, dinakatina, dim, takita, takita, dim, dinakatina, dim, kadadakadadikadadikadadum, 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 dim, kadadakadadikadadikadadikadadum, kadadakadadikadadikadadum, kadadakadadikadadikadadum, dim, kadadakadadikadadikadadum, 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 takita, takita, dim, dinakatina, dim, takita, takita, dim, dinakatina, dim, takita, takita, dim, dinakatina. Oh my God! Takita, takita, dim, dinakatina, dim, takita, takita, dim, dinakatina, dim, takita, takita, dim, dinakatina, dim, takadakadakadakadakadum, 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 dim, takadakadakadakadakadum, 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 dim, takadakadakadakadakadum, 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 takita, takita, dim, dinakatina, dim, takita, takita, dim, dinakatina, dim, takita, takita, dim, dinakatina, dim, kadakadakadakadakadum, 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 dim, kadakadakadakadakadum, 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 dim, kadakadakadakadakadum, 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 takita, takita, dim, dinakatina, dim, takita, takita, dim, dinakatina, dim, takita, takita, dim, dinakatina, dim, takadakadakadakadum, 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 dim, takadakadakadakadum, 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 dim, takadakadakadakadum, 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 takita, takita, dim, takatina, dim, takita, takita, dim, takatina, dim, takita, takita, dim, takatina, dim, takadakadakadakadum, 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 dim, takadakadakadakadum, takadakadakadakadum, takadakadakadum, dim, takadakadakadakadum, takadakadakadakadum.
Sabash. Woo!
oh,
So if we were in Barcelona, I'd throw my hat at you.
Well, this is not tight yet. I'm still working on it. So.
well, sounded
Thank you so much for sharing.
Fabulous. Lovely.
Yeah, this is something that I'm working on. So I'm just I want this the videos that I'm posting now from the konakkol competition that we just did. I want that because I don't want to post also these videos, so the attention goes away. So that's why I'm waiting for all the videos to be finished.
Amazing.
Well, thank you so much for your time and coming on and having a laugh with us and sharing some beautiful thoughts. And so on behalf of Mridangamela,
yeah, okay, sorry, go on.
Yeah, on behalf of Mridangamela, we are extremely privileged to have had this beautiful conversation with the one and only
B C Manjunath.
Thank you.